Hello and welcome to Building Greece. Here we are in episode number 2, and we're going to go over preseason. We're going to go over the first couple of matches, the squad, the staff. So I might make this 2 different videos. The first video might just be the staff and the players and the tactics that we've laid out. The second video will probably be a review of the season so far. So let's go into the players. We have quite a few players that are on loan. We have Nikos Melisas, who is on loan from PAOK. They were the champion. Were they the champions last year? They were, yeah. So they were the champions last year. And we have a lot of players on loan from them. Lefteris Liratsis is on loan from them. I believe Kostas is as well. Torres is not. He's from Newell's Old Boys. Nice. Let's see about Diamantis is on loan from PAOK. Marios, same thing, PAOK. And Casey's is from Larnakas. So lots of loan players actually in the squad. I wasn't able to do anything with them. They just were here. So I'm assuming that the Real Life Club brought them in. And that's it. That's all I could do. I just have them. I'm guessing this is just a lot of change from when they went from Super League 2 to Super League 1. These are probably all of the players that they got rid of. We went ahead and offloaded these 4 players onto loans, and we got rid of Kostas Corellas, who not a very good player at all. We brought in 3 players. So I went and did a bunch of trials, because this is definitely a league where it's like a tale of 2 leagues. There's the top end guys, like I would say maybe the top 4, and then there's the rest of us. So this is gonna be a long save for sure. But so we brought in young Nemanja, who we also sent out on loan. He was 21 years old, really good statistics. Mentals are pretty solid, like 10s all over the place. Technicals are pretty good for defense. We'll be playing him as a ball-playing defender, so his passing's not so good, but his vision's pretty good. His first touch is pretty good as well. That was a good signing. Armenkas, we got him off of a trial. He's already played a couple of games, and he has a pretty good rating. He has a goal and an assist. So I feel like that was a real solid signing that I made there. Good determination, pretty good physicals. We are working on his stamina and his work rate, I believe. Yeah, he's working on that. So we should see that improve. And then we got Maktom. Maktom has already been almost a regular starter for us, especially with some of the injuries that we've had. But such a good player. And for free. It cost me nothing. And he's already worth 120,000 euros. And he's going to get better. He's only 21 years old. Just really good technique. Great work rate, just a lot of 12s and 13s in his stats. So that's exciting. He's very versatile in the midfield. Our 2 tactics right now use him as a box-to-box and as a ball winning. And he already has a goal and an assist with 2 starts in the league. But we'll go over our league play shortly. So let's continue going through our team. Let's start with our goalkeepers. So we have Melisas, who is here on loan. His statistics are pretty good, or his attributes are pretty good, but he doesn't have a lot of growth. He's middle of his career, so he still has time to develop as a goalkeeper, but it just doesn't look like he's going to go very far. Lower acceleration and concentration, and first touch is not the best. He's done pretty okay. He's conceded quite a bit, but it's not really fair to really talk about how much he's conceded. But then we have our starter, our player, 27 years of age, 2.5 stars current ability, 3 stars potential. Pretty okay stats. I mean, nothing terribly incredible. So middle of the road there. And then we have like our youth prospect, potential 3-star player. His stats are potentially really decent. His one-on-ones are need serious improvement. Concentration and communication are okay compared to the other two. Anticipation is very low. Needs to improve on that. Right now, it looks like his aerial reach and his jumping reach are improving, but we need his acceleration to come up as well. Vision would be helpful, but otherwise, not really the best. This team has a lot of not dead weight, but I guess weight I would rather see disregarded, but I had like no wage budget. Bringing in those 3 players on loan put me actually over my wage budget, or not on loan, for the free signings. So we have Brankovic, one of my signings, right? We already went over him. He has some really solid potential. Then we have Liratsis, who's on loan. He is going to be playing as a wingback mostly for us. Middle of the range stats, pretty good physicals. I think that's why he rates so well. We have Marios, who is on my other wing. Better technicals, but overall an average player at best. He is definitely a depth option for us. Diamantes, not stellar, not terrible. He's a middle of the road player for sure. His acceleration's a little low. I wish it would be higher, especially since we're playing kind of with a high line right now. But Sergio Chica, I like this guy. This guy, he had 3 goals in the preseason and really good ratings. But unfortunately, our preseason games weren't against the best competition all of the time. 3.5 star potential, pretty average stats, nothing to really draw the eye. Unfortunately, since we are using ball playing defenders, his passing and first touch is not the best, and his technique is a little bit low as well. Liacine Katamoro is another one of our starting ball playing defenders. Pretty good stats, pretty good physicals. He's at 3.5 stars. And then we have Vangelis Oikonomo, up there in age, 3.5 stars. Pretty good. Starting to go down. He's really good technically, really good mentals. So great player. He's done well for us thus far. And then we have on the right, we have Antonis, who is a younger player, but not going to grow much more. His stats are increasing, which is nice to see. I'm not sure if it's the first team experience that he's been getting, but his technicals are not the best. His physicals are probably what makes him a 3-star, and his mentals are pretty good with a 14 in work rate and a 13 in determination. Sturgios Dimopoulos is another older player, 3 stars. He is a depth option for us at center back. Not the best vision, not the best technique. Those are his 2 weakest points of his game, along with his jumping reach and his heading. So he doesn't really help us out too much. He hasn't played a single game in the league yet. And then we have Tazos Sokanis, 28 years old. I think you're starting to see a theme here with age. He is starting to decay as a player, but he has also been injured a little bit. Hasn't been in the best form yet, but we'll see. It's still early days, and I'm still trying to figure out a good tactic for us. And then Franco Ferrari, who is probably our best wingback, again in his prime, but the physicals are good, the mentals are very good, technicals are not the best, but he has performed pretty well for us in the preseason, and he's done okay. He was out for a little bit with an injury. So that is our defensive lineup. And you could sort of see here the ones that I rate well enough to be on the bench. In our midfield, we have Augusto Max, who is injured right now, and he's going to be out for probably entirely too long. Oh, good. Only another couple of days. 3.5-star player. He is foreign, so he counts against our non-EU player total. But he's pretty versatile. He could be a DM or a center mid. When he is a center mid for us, he's going to play as a ball-winning midfielder. Not as great for a box-to-box, and not as good for any kind of creative player. He's definitely a defensive-minded midfielder. Pretty solid, though, when it comes to being that defensive-minded midfielder. Kostas Balogiannis, the loanee that we kind of looked at before, middle of the road, 2.5 stars. He's a depth option. Juan Muniz. This guy is just great. Valued at $1.5 million and worth every penny. Potential 4-star player. We are focusing on his stamina and his work rate, but look at these technicals. Incredible technicals, middle of the road mentals, middle of the road physicals. These technicals are insane. I didn't realize he had a 17 in penalty taking. He actually missed a penalty, but he is surgical on free kicks, surgical on crossing, and on corners. Crossing is not very helpful because we play him in this AM position, but he's definitely a star player for us, and I'm very worried about keeping him next year. But that is way early concerns. Panos Armenakas, we got him at 21 years old. We already talked about him. He was one of the free transfers I picked up. He's going to be an up and coming as long as I can pick up his mentals and maybe develop his physicals a little bit more. But his technicals are already pretty good. Just the mentality needs to improve. Iker Guarosenya, I believe is how you pronounce it. He is 3.5 stars. A theme for this team. AM and AMR, pretty decent physicals, really good mentals. His mentals are killer. Positioning and teamwork, not as killer. And then his technicals are pretty okay, decent. So he is definitely a good attacking option, but he's not our first starter. We already went over Macdom, my very happy to have free signing. Sokanis we went over him, and then we have Nacho Cases. He is a loanee. He is our creative player for sure when he's not injured. Speaking of that, let me just go ahead and take a look here, see if I could do any rehab on him yet. Nope, because that pace and stamina are going down. All right. Really good mentals, super mentals, just really average, but consistently so. So he's a really good option to have. He could also fill in as a box-to-box, ball winning, probably. Well, he's a pretty good ball winning too. Really versatile player. I think he's undervalued. I think he needs to be worth more money. But that is life, and he's not even mine. So, whatever. And then we have a pretty limited front line. So if both these guys ever get injured, we're going to have some issues. Eric Jędrzejczyk is our primary striker. Really good in the advanced forward position. As you can tell, his age is probably starting to catch up with him. We're never going to get any money for this guy. He's going to be a lost cause, but he'll free up a bunch of wage. My hope is that maybe he'll retire. Next year, we'll see. We'll see how it works. But pretty good technicals, especially for his role. Really great finishing and first touch. Beautiful off the ball that's paid off in a couple of different places, along with that quick acceleration, great agility and balance, makes him deadly inside the box. He is in the one of the top like 5 players that are tipped for getting the Golden Boot this season. So if we get a player that gets the Golden Boot, then I will be happy. But right now, he's performed pretty well for us. He scored quite a bit of goals in the preseason. And then our up-and-comer, sort of, our depth option is Vasilis Matsis. 3 stars, just average. When he subs in for that attacking forward position, he's just good enough. His finishing is not the best. His first touch is not the best. His off the ball is really good, along with his determination and heading. So he does probably make a better target man, but right now that doesn't fit in with what I need him to do. That's the squad. We got some talent there for sure, and luckily with the depth requirements that we have, since it's a shorter season, we don't have often more than 1 week per game. We could play a regular lineup pretty consistently, and this regular lineup basically has 3.5 star players at least. So that's some good stuff. Staff-wise, we had to bring in almost an entirely new coaching staff. The only existing coaches were our goalkeeping and our fitness coach. Our fitness coach, who is terrible, and I really want to replace him, but I don't want to blow a ton of money. You can see that our coaching statistics are not the best, but they're not terrible. We did bring in Edgar Davids. I liked him because of his little profile picture. He's from the Netherlands, and he's got pretty good overall statistics. Sacred 3, really good determination and discipline. Not the best motivating, unfortunately. Player ability and tack knowledge are a little low. We brought in Kostas Dialas. I felt it was important to bring in a German assistant manager, or a Greek assistant manager. So we brought him in. Pretty good ability and potential judging. Not the best tactical knowledge. Not the best man management. Middling coaching statistics. And discipline's high, but motivating and determination are pretty low, unfortunately. We hired Intino Quis, another Greek. Got him because of his world reputation was pretty okay, and his potential was pretty good. So we'll see what kind of youth prospects he could bring in. Pavle Popara, brought him in. What country? Oh, Serbia. Huh. Pretty good overall coach for this level. Great top 3. Look at these abilities here. So that's a positive signing. We got our scouting team. Joe Tihi from Cote d'Ivoire. We got him in here for his tactical knowledge, so he's going to be our next team scout. And so far, he's done pretty good at it. We got Alexandra Kavrik we brought in for a data analyst, which compared to some other teams, this is a really good data analyst. Same thing for our chief, really good data analyst. Our chief scout, I wanted him to have 100% knowledge of Greece. We got a bunch of other nations in South America, as well as a lot of Europe with some knowledge. Ability and potential are okay. His adaptability is a little bit low. And then Kostas Oikonomidis. Just an average scout. Again, Southern American knowledge, a little bit of European knowledge. My guess is that my thought is that we're going to pick up a lot of Argentinians and a lot of Brazilians. Let's see. We're going to get a lot of Argentinians and a lot of Brazilians. Excuse me. That are going to come in through the club. Kind of mid-range Argentinians and Brazilians. Maybe we could pick them up and develop them, but I feel like we're going to be able to get them to treat the club sort of like a stepping stone onto bigger European clubs. That's at least my goal. And then after that, we're probably going to get a lot of Serbians. We're probably going to get a lot of, let's see, what other country is this? I'm terrible. Not Georgia, Bulgaria. Maybe some Bulgarians. But Serbians for sure. I'd like to see some Croatians come through. We have no scouting knowledge of Croatia. That's fine. But Serbia seems to be a pretty big country that pops up a lot in my staff searches and the player searches. Probably not going to get a ton of French and Portuguese players unless they're on loan, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure my focus is going to be on Brazil and Serbia, or Brazil, Argentina, and Serbia. To get in some of those younger non-wonder kid players that'll turn into some pretty good people. Under 19s, I mean, we filled out the coaching staff, filled out their physio team, but we don't have any players. Got nobody. Some of the players I moved up to the senior team, but otherwise nobody. Poor youth team. So that's sort of the rundown of the team, the tactics that we're using. I ended up going with a 4-2-3-1 just because I didn't have a lot of depth at defensive midfield. So, if we look at our depth options here, we have Augustus Max and Mactom. Not feeling great about it. I have this tactic here as hopefully an option to use. I'm not married to it. These are the recommended tactics that we have. I'm looking at probably doing a wing play type tactic potentially. If we look at our comparison to the rest of the league, we're really good on passing and really good on vision now that we brought in some of these other players. Not the best technically, not the best on decisions. So it's kind of like, what do we do here? If we look at our defense, just terrible. We have a terrible defense, just not the best. And our attackers, just really quick, really good at finishing. So hopefully we could leverage that into something beneficial for us. But I think passing is where it's going to be for us. If I look at the passing statistics for our back line, also pretty good. Vision is pretty good compared to the average, right? Decisions are pretty good. So I feel like a possession-based team is going to be okay up until we get to the lone striker. These statistics and the lack of depth up front is why I want to go with one striker up top. So, having a 4-1-4-1 control possession, or even a tiki-taka, probably be best. But again, when we go over the season, definitely in the next video, you'll sort of understand where I'm coming from. It's just not... It's been really rough. And I'll show you why it's been really rough so far. For starters, I had no room really to develop the squad and make it my own. So I kind of had to work with what I have right now, and kind of go from there. So, we need the off season. We need to be in a good position in the off season to take care of business. Let me show you why this league is so ridiculous. So here we have the top 3 teams. PAOK has a salary spend that is over 4 times as much as the 4th place team. Ridiculous. They have twice the salary spend as the 3rd place team. So, I mean, I like the concept of Volos. I'm a little bit concerned that this grind that we have going on here is going to be long. We are dead last in salary spend. Panios is supposed to finish below us, and it would be a miracle to compete next year. And I'm hoping we have a good season. We don't get relegated. I need a salary spend twice what I'm doing at least to challenge for the top 6 slots and get to Europe, because Europe is where I'm going to probably be able to get a little bit more money. But sort of regretting picking Volos. Wish I would have looked at the salary spends. It would be so much easier to deal with one of these guys, or even if I would have picked like Aris or Panathinaikos, it would have been okay. I could have challenged, but there's just such a huge gap that it's going to make it interesting, and we'll see how it goes for sure. I always tend to do this where I pick something that I want to do, like a diffuse save where I want to pick like a lower league team that gets promoted up with a low reputation, and it's fun until it's not, until it gets hard, and then you run into money problems. But whatever, that's just life. So I'm gonna stop this video here. And then the next video, we will go over the league positioning, our past play, and our next game. So see you guys then. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever works. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.